make sure we're recording. There we go. All these things, that you get everything you need to make sure your home is set up for you to thrive. Now, one amazing thing about, I'm just going to make sure you guys are all muted. Okay. Cause I don't want any audio to come in back in the back. Okay, great. So what is the relationship between wealth and Feng Shui? So essentially, wealth and Feng Shui are very connected because wealth is a very big topic and running theme that runs through Feng Shui. And sorry, guys, I'm just a bit distracted. Let me just pull this over here because I'm having somebody message me about where we are. 1 second. I'm so sorry, you guys. Did not plan for this. Okay. Okay, you're good. All right, back to it here. All right, so let's all just take a moment to breathe. I need to ground myself for a minute because that threw me all off. All right, there she is. Let's all take a deep inhale through the nose and exhale through the mouth. Sigh it out. All the curveballs that get thrown at us during Mercury retrograde, this has been a serious one. Let's take another big inhale and ground into our intention and energy for being here today. And exhale it out. Yes, shake it off. Okay, so what is your intention? Why are you here? Intention is everything in Feng Shui. You could not know anything about Feng Shui and you could start setting an intention around your space. And that is truly the magic. And that is what happens. And that is how we create the magic within our homes. So I want you to get clear right now. Why are you showing up to this masterclass? Why are you showing up to build your wealth? What is super clear for you? And it might be simple. It's just, I want more money. We all want more money. It might be as simple as I want to really feel what wealth truly feels like when I'm tapped into my true innate abundance. And we're going to get into what truly wealth really means to all of us and to our inner space. So first of all, what is Feng Shui? Feng Shui is an incredible modality that was created back in the days when emperors and kings and queens ruled in their power in their temples. And there were monks that actually went to discover how they could set up the Temple of Heaven in China to create a true thriving space for the emperor. So what the emperor wanted was an environment that was really in harmony with nature. And I don't think that the story goes, you know, it's a very much a beautiful, like ancient story, but I think that there's a lot of, just like the Bible, you know, there's a lot of stuff that gets passed down and potentially there's some truths and there's some things that maybe aren't as true in that space. But what's really true for me is this: the emperor wanted a space to be aligned with nature, to thrive in all areas of her life. Now, why did he want this? Because when we look to nature, nature is thriving, it's abundant, it has its cycles, it has the correlation between the 5 elements, which is everything we use in Feng Shui, between wood, fire, metal, water, and air. So with that being said, all of these elements, they're what create creation. So what we do in our homes with Feng Shui is we create harmony within our space within these elements. Now, today we're going to be focusing solely on your wealth corner. So to touch lightly on the Bagua system, the Bagua map is what the monks basically created as a foundation for you building your house upon that is related to every important area of your life. So there's 9 areas of your life that are of the utmost importance, and that's related to your relationships, your money and finances, your health, your wealth, your travel, your people and connections. And so with all those being the foundation, what you can do, is build your house upon this as a template. So last week, if you guys were with me, we talked all about how you can manifest using Feng Shui. And we talked about the Bagua map being your template of how to create a vision board. So we're kind of going to zoom in on the space of your money area, which is the southeast corner of your home. Or when you walk in the front door, it's the furthest left corner inside your home. If you share a space and you're in, you have a roommate situation, it's actually going to be in your bedroom or wherever you want to put your money corner. It's whenever you walk into a door, it's always going to be on the furthest left corner of your space in which you want to set your wealth corner. So that's first how you find your wealth corner. So I want you to think right now, where is your wealth corner? Mine is my guest bedroom in our entire house. And it originally was, I told this story, I'm going to keep it brief, but this originally was my partner's office space. And his office space wasn't exactly what we felt was our wealth corner. It felt sort of like a busy workspace. And, oftentimes busy workspaces can get cluttered. They can kind of feel like they're lacking in breathability in the space. So we decided to move his room to our other guest room and switch that up to be, it was our previous guest room, and his office became the new guest room office. So now we have the guest room inside of what his old office was, and he moved into the guest room as his office. If that makes sense. And just by shifting these few things and bringing in some of the enhancements of this corner, what we did was first and foremost brought in a water fountain. So I'm going to go over different things that you can bring into this space that will enhance and bring life to your financial wealth corner. But before I get too deep into that, I actually want to touch lightly on what true wealth means, because each and every one of you guys here, we each have our own abundance story, our own wealth story. We each have our own perception on what wealth really means to us. And I think that's a really important thing to first get super crystal clear on with yourself. And now is a really good time to do that. It's a new moon in Libra we just had last night. So there's a lot of really beautiful energy that would allow for us to really write down, like, what does wealth mean to you? Because to me, it might mean something completely different. But in a nutshell, I really believe that true wealth is wealth in our relationships, in our finances, in our health, in our love life. Like, it is all areas of our life. We feel inside wealthy, because we could always put it in correlation to money and finances and prosperity and abundance. Yet there's so much more to wealth than I believe most of us really pay attention to. So as an example, you could think and let's be honest, our society really banks what we think of rich and wealthy off of an image. I live in LA most of the time, and man, everything is based on image here. So we're often taught and trained within our programming that wealth needs to look like something like this, like a fancy car, an expensive house, having all the money in the bank, having the relationship, having the career, having the job, all these things that we had to check off the box. Yet I know if you're here, you're open to what true wealth and happiness actually brings you, because there's been countless stories, amazing documentaries that have been correlated to really show that somebody living at the top of the hill with all those Lamborghinis is actually not really wealthy because they're not happy. So I want you to really recreate and reestablish your vision of what wealth truly means for you and what that will look like in your life. Maybe you already have a lot of those checked off. I'm certain you're here because you're looking to obtain more in one area of your life. And I just wanted to be crystal clear. It's not always about money, because money doesn't really bring us happiness. As long as we have our needs met, I really believe we can build a foundation upon that. And that's something that's really important to have. All of us get to have our needs met. And that was something like for me, even to be talking about this in my 20s, I lived a lot of my 20s in scarcity. So to be in a space now in my 30s where I can understand what abundance and wealth feels like, because it felt so far from it when I was in my 20s. And I'm sure some of you guys can totally relate to that because our 20s are not easy. And so with that being said, really get crystal clear before you do anything around changing your environment, because Feng Shui is all about what goes on in the inner space is going to be created around your external environment. So this is it's a two-part dance. You don't just get to change your environment and think that all of a sudden, your mindset's going to shift. It really is an integration of how you feel on the inside will be reflected by how you feel, what you're seeing on the outside. So perhaps, certain things like luxury and a nice fancy car, they can feel very wealthy, or they can feel very depleting because maybe it's above your means, or maybe it's beyond your, or it's not really within your vibrational frequency. Because a lot of times with that programming of what we think wealth looks like, we get conflicted and confused with thinking that we also are that same vibration. We have to recognize we have our own frequency. We are our own soul signature. And so that fancy car that we think we might want might not be in resonance for who we actually are. That was a big lesson for me personally. I'm a total earth being. I love to get dirty. I love to go on adventures. My cars get messy because I'm on adventures all the time. So having a fancy car doesn't work for me. It's not in my vibration. What wealth feels like for me is a wealth of adventures, of memories and experiences under my belt, and the finances to allow me to do so. So this is some of my ethic principles of wealth. And I really want to invite you into this exercise because it really will change the way you see money, prosperity, and abundance. And I'm going to sneeze because I have an incense going and it's like smoking up my room. I just opened up a window. Woo. Okay. No, it's going away. All right. We got it. Just energy. Anyway, so I want you to first do that. And then once we go into that and once you create that, we're going to discuss how you can enhance your wealth corner. And through that discussion, we're then going to, this is another really fun exercise. And this is all being recorded. You will get this and it will be sent to your inbox. So silly with all this stuff, but I'm actually going to create, I'm going to tell you how to do this first. And then I'm going to create a document that you'll receive in an email on how to create a wealth vase. Wealth vases were kind of this secret Feng Shui ancient exercise that the royal emperors, kings, and queens would do to create wealth in their life. So it's a bit of, magic creation, I really believe, but everything with intention is how we manifest and create. So we're going to go over that today too. It's a really fun exercise. It's sort of like a vision board, but for your money. So it's a fun craft day if you want to do that. But first and foremost, if you have found your wealth corner mentally in your space, maybe you can go stand in it now, however you're listening to this. So what you're going to do is, first of all, think about how your wealth corner feels. If it's also a space that is like a toilet, it's a bathroom, we'll talk about that. There's some remedies we can do to make sure that your space, actually, what I would like for you guys to do is in the comment section here, if you could just type in the chat box where your money corner is in your home. It's in your living room, it's in a bedroom, it's in wherever it is. If you are just a roommate in a shared space, then you can actually use your bedroom as your money room. So just put bedroom. So I want to see where everyone's at, because most of where I'm going with all this is going to help you guys specifically since we're here live. Okay, so we've got a bedroom here. Let's see where else everyone's money room is. All right, so decor wise, I'll get into this while I'm kind of seeing your comments come through. Decor wise, once you feel how your money corner feels, if it's consistently cluttered and has stuff in the way, that's the first thing we want to make sure this space doesn't get cluttered at all. Like, this is a place that gets cleaned consistently, regularly. You have a system that in place that allows you to keep this area clean. And then from there, you want to build and create your abundance and your wealth based on your ethics and principles on what wealth means to you. So what you can do here is you can start decorating with colors such as purple, gold, silver, green. Those are the core colors of abundance and wealth. Purple is a really powerful one because purple is that crown chakra. It allows for us to really feel that energy of abundance. And Francis says, my walls are green. Of course, some of us will already find that we're intuitively already kind of knew, what needed to be there. I found that a lot when I was feng shuiing my space. I was like, oh, I already put this here. I already knew like something needed to go here. And that's the part of feng shui and intuition that's really powerful. And you'll be able to see like how you can tap into that the more that you learn about feng shui. So we also have a living room, main room of my tiny house. Okay, great. So a lot of it's in a room. So just look at the corner of the space, and maybe it's a space in which doesn't have a corner. So you can just kind of design around it, knowing that this area in general is your money area. So you want to decorate with those colors. A money tree, perfect place to put a money tree. I was actually quite sad because I've been traveling for the last year and I had my money tree in my money area and it totally died. Like everything else in my house flourished with the person who was staying here, but the money tree has one little leaf on it and that's it. And I was like, that's really interesting. And so I do want to say, if you have people staying in your house or you have roommates or you have tenants or anything like that, you need to do a big clearing because their energy is now imprinted on your space, depending upon how long they've been in the space. But now I'm getting a new money tree because I wasn't tending to that during that period. It was like fully blossoming, but those are just some things. And also there was like a leaky faucet that didn't get fixed and all of our fountains were turned off, which all our fountains are what create our money flow. So I can tell that, and I know firsthand that there was some money struggles going on within that engagement. And those are some things that I pay attention to and I look for when I'm doing feng shui consultations is, what is flourishing, what's not. And those are just some signs that you can notice, like, why are we letting things go? Why is that plant dying? Why is the faucet leaking? Which any leaky faucet or anything symbolizes the letting go of not being able to hold on to finances. Anything money, anything water related is connected to prosperity. So we're speaking to specifically money here, but those are just some kind of things that you want to pay attention to. You can also decorate with Chinese money coins. You can get these at your local metaphysical shop. There's a lot of online shops. Etsy is a great space. I'm really advocating to not be on Amazon as much as possible. So Etsy is a really great resource to get some feng shui decor. Dragons are such a powerful symbol of wealth in your life. If you really connect to dragon energy, a dragon deity, a sculpture, a statue would be such a beautiful thing to put in your money corner. Other deities such as Lakshmi, Ganesh to remove any obstacles or blockages if you're having a block in money flow are amazing deities. And if you're having a block in money flow and you can't go buy these things right now, print out a portrait and put it in a frame. Don't think that you have to go buy things if right now finances and stability and resources is something that you're lacking in. Just know that being resourceful it can go so far. And that is really, to me, how you create true wealth, because you'll talk to many, many people who are financially wealthy. And I'm learning what that looks like now is being able to invest, being able to put money somewhere where it makes money for you. And so for me, I really stepped into that space when I had my previous company and was able to like start putting money somewhere where it would make money for me. And so wealth building is that resource of getting really intentional with your money and knowing that being frugal is totally okay. You don't have to be like, I feel like in our society, we do have this disconnection with frugal being like related to scarcity and poverty. But I think that, you know, being frugal can actually be really powerful because you have responsibility over your financial gain and losses. So that's just something I want to put in this space, because I don't want you to think you need to go buy more things to put in your space if you want to be resourceful and get creative and use what you already have. I bet you already have all of this stuff in your house, and it just needs to be moved into your money corner so that it creates an enhancement. But definitely go get, I'm going to counter in a I'm going to be I'm looking for the word. Anyways, I'm going to say definitely get a money tree, because they're not, you know, expensive. You can go get one for like $10, and it really just helps bring life to that space. So that is one thing I will recommend to purchase. Okay, crystals. If you have citrine, you have jasper, you have jade. I love citrine. Pyrite. I love this pyrite heart that I have. This always, I actually bought this intentionally to have wealth in my life. And I bought this, gosh, years and years ago at the gem show in Tucson. And every time I see it, I move it around a lot. It kind of travels with me too, because it's just kind of my reminder of my ethical codes and my foundations around wealth. And that gold really symbols to me wealth, because gold is gold. You know, gold is a very sacred element. And right now, gold is becoming very, very important. If you're in like the crypto space and understand the future of money, gold is going to be, I think, a big player in all of that. Okay, we have a comment. My wealth corner doesn't get any light. Can I still put a money tree there? Yes, actually, my money tree thrives. You don't need to feed your money tree a lot. Actually, feeding it too much will totally destroy and actually make the roots rot. So money trees are a really good plant to put in a non-lit space. But you can also put a plant light in there if you have space for that. Maybe just putting, like, I'm kind of seeing just a little side table with a plant and then a light on there, because light also will help any plants grow. That's an actual bulb. So definitely put those elements in those space, whatever. And one thing I want to say too is, I touched on this briefly, but using your intuition as you go through this process can be so powerful to strengthen that muscle of your intuition, because Feng Shui is so related to you feeling your energy needs to feel the space. So like Francis said, my walls are already green. I already had put all this, like a globe and like what I wanted to create with traveling, already in my travel corner, because it was just like, oh, I guess I already knew how to do that. So really use your intuition on what you feel is right. Like, I'm just giving you guys ideas and tips and a basic foundation for you to start on. But what I really want you to really test your muscle on your intuition is feeling what feels right to put in this space for you, because you have your own, again, your own wealth mindset signature, everything that you feel. And so to work on that, you have to work on that within everything that resonates to your energy. Just like that expensive car might not work for me, that, you know, big sculpture or statue of Kuan Yin or Lakshmi or Ganesh might really work for you in your space. So really feel like what it is for you that's going to work, and use your intuition on that. Okay, so there's moving on. There are other areas in your home that you want to pay attention to that are connected with your wealth and your prosperity, not just your money room or your money corner. So one really big, I talk about this pretty much every time I'm doing a course, I'm teaching, I'm talking to a client, anytime. Your front door is so, so important, because your front door is where all the chi comes into your space. And I just explained this on my IG live, is your chi, and what chi does is when you take a breath, that is your life force. That is your prana. That is the chi that moves in and out of your body that creates life. So there's no difference to everything around us. Everything has a chi, prana, life force, breath. It might not look like actual inhale, exhale, breathing out, but your home, that front door is the inhale. And your inhale needs to be able, the breath and the chi and the life force needs to be able to move around your entire space, so that that chi really brings all the positive energy into your home, and it needs to be able to exit out. So I want you to sort of see that in your mind's eye of how your home is breathing. So when you walk into your front door, when you walk through your front door, does it feel like there's a lot of ability for it to breathe there? Does it feel like it has a lot of life force that can come through? And then you want to go through every area of your home and really ask yourself, does this home allow me to breathe? Does this space allow me to breathe? Because you can easily tell the things that create stagnancy or lack of breath or flow of chi is clutter, messy spaces, too much of something somewhere, doors that have things hanging behind it. We never really want to put anything hanging on doors. That's kind of a feng shui foundational tip. Anything that doesn't allow you to breathe, such as too much stuff, that's really what creates stagnancy, and she can't move through a space without, like, breath. You cannot breathe. If we had to think of it this way, if we have a stuffy nose or a sore throat, it creates lack of breath and the ability to breathe in and out. So I want you to look at your home. Like, if you have a stuffy home, your home can't breathe. And when you walk through your front door, that's the most important part. So your front door always needs to be kept clean. Now, I kind of have a ritual where I do this every lunar cycle, whether I'm on the full moon cycle or I'm on the new moon cycle. And how I determine how I clean my front door is based upon where I'm at and what I'm calling in. Whether I'm like, oof, I need to let go of some stuff right now. I am just holding on to things that don't serve me. I need to let go. Or I'm really calling in something. I'm really working on manifesting, setting intentions, planting seeds. So if I was doing that, I would be working with the new moon, which we just had. So if you are in that cycle and you're like, yep, I want to do this, I'm calling it in, you can actually create like a front door ritual where you clean and cleanse and sweep and make sure you have some plants, you have a clear pathway to your front door. Now, this can be hard for some people because you might live in an apartment complex, you might live somewhere where your front door doesn't really have like an opening or a welcoming space. We live literally like up a giant set of stairs that also goes to some other little units. And so I had to literally create and guide the chi up to our front door, because we also have 2 front doors and people get confused. And so if people are getting confused, then don't you think the chi would be getting confused too? So you want to welcome the chi into your space. You can do this by guiding it with lights, with plants, with fairy lights, with moons, with crystals, with anything that really feels like you would walking up to, you feel like you know exactly, like if you're almost closing your eyes blind, you could energetically feel where you're meant to go. Now, of course, living in a complex with a bunch of different energies and a bunch of different people, the best way for you to create a positive flow of chi is by making sure your front door doesn't just have a door. You have a nice welcome mat. You have maybe a little flower or a pot, and it could be fake too, you guys. It doesn't need, if you have a space that really doesn't get any light, definitely put something there that just feels welcoming. A welcome mat could be enough too. But just these types of tips can really allow for the chi to be very activated at your front door. And then when you open that front door, that's another step, is what does your space look like on the inside? Now, certain things that you can add here to enhance your wealth is a fountain. I mentioned that a couple times. We've really seen, like, I think the fountains were the first thing that really I put into the space that I started to see a massive shift in both my business, and we were trying to sell 2 homes and a boat and nothing was selling. We were kind of coming up against this wall of like, okay, this has been crazy. Like, we've got to get these things out of our life. And my business was doing well, but it was like, okay, we're kind of at this stagnant place where it's not quite growing. How do we get past this middle area where I, can create more abundance and more clients and really help people keep their spaces clean? And I'm speaking to my other business with my cleaning company. And so we put a fountain both in the front door. We made these fountains. We went to Home Depot. We made them with a barrel and then a metal barrel on the inside. They just happened to fit perfectly together. And then we put a fountain pump in there. And then that was it for both the front door and the outdoor backspace. And then we put a fountain inside our money room. So those 3 fountains, all of a sudden I felt like things were moving. We sold both the houses, we sold the boat, all within the 6-month period of when we feng shuied the space. So I was like, okay, something worked, whether it's woo and magic, I don't know, but that's what really made me believe in and see firsthand and like an experience that this shit works. Like, call it witchcraft, call it, mysticism, whatever it is, there's magic to it. And this is why these types of tools and modalities were kind of kept from society. Like I mentioned earlier, when the emperor and the kings and the queens, they all ruled, and they had a lot of this like mysticism, mindset work, everything that we are studying today, I think really in the spiritual space or the, self-empowerment space, I really believe came from the rulers of those times, because they knew more, they knew how to obtain. And of course, a lot of it was rooted in greed, but look at where we are in society, there's still that. So now the benefit is we have access to these tools. So now we just get to use them. We have access to the ability to create a home that allows us to thrive. We have access to mindset hacks that allow us to, EFT tapping that allow us to really tap into a mindset that creates true wealth and prosperity and abundance in our lives and for our community. Because I really believe, and I didn't used to believe this because I was so stuck in a scarcity mindset in my 20s. I really believed that, wealth was kind of a selfish thing. I kind of looked at people who had a lot of money in my perspective as like these, not evil, but just somebody who was taking from everyone else. And that was sort of the way I saw the world. And once I started to change my mindset, do all the work, get deep into the subconscious and really see all of that stuff was a lie. Now my new story and my belief is that the more wealth that we create in our communities, the more wealth that we generate for our families, our loved ones, everyone around us, and empower them to rise in that wealth frequency, is we actually have the power to make some very big positive changes in our life. Because it might be selfish to think like, if I had all this money or I had this wealth, or I could really be in a space of feeling like I'm good, I don't need more, then what world would we live in? Like, I want you to kind of think about that world if we really felt like we don't need more, that we had wealth within us, we had the ability to tap into external resources and really support each other. Because I kind of see the future of, I get like really future forward thinking, and I kind of see the future being this collective community where we're all sharing this pot of gold, right? And in a way, that's kind of the way I think the system tried to set it up, but we're so far from that. It's sad, but also I believe in creating that for all of us, because we're all sovereign beings and we need to remember that. Okay, tangent over. All right, so within that space, After you have created your wealth corner, you've cleaned your front door, you've set the space of your front door, you want to also pay attention to your kitchen. Your kitchen also is your wealth, is your, you hear it all the time. Your wealth equals your health. If we aren't healthy, how can we even be wealthy? We don't have the energy to work and pursue our passions. We don't have the energy to nourish relationships. Our health is everything, you guys. And this could have been talked about even before I spoke on the money corner. But the stove specifically in your home actually relates everything to prosperity and to your health, because it has a fire component. And remember, I spoke on how we use all the elements, the 5 elements, to create harmony and balance in your space. So your stove actually represents the burning, like, fuel to your health. This is where we create nourishment. The kitchen is where we create nourishment, really. But the stove specifically is how you want to really create a space so that, just like your wealth corner, you're really feeling that it's creating that nourishment for you. Question here with Francis, even if it's an electric cooktop. I knew this question was going to come up. It comes up often. So yes, even if it's electric, that electricity is just as powerful as, the fire. They're two very different components, but it still symbolizes your health, your wealth, and it can still nourish you. So all you need to really pay attention to is keep your stove clear of any pots and pans, anything really, like keep it clear, because just like I said, your home needs to be able to breathe. If we put all these pots and pans and kind of leave, spatulas or anything on top of that, then it can't breathe. So we want to really pay, like, when I think of my kitchen, I think of, does it have everything in it that allows me to be nourished in my mind, body, soul? Because all of that is connected. If anybody has had any gut issues or health issues, all of it comes back to our mind and our soul, essentially. Because if our soul isn't happy, if our mind isn't in a good space, things can start showing up on the physical. And that's how, a lot of cancer gets created. There's a lot of studies that show how much our mindset is connected to our bodies. And I know you guys probably all know this. We've been exposed to that information so much more in today's world, and it's such a blessing that we do. So think about when you're in your kitchen, just look in your pantries. Are they cleaned out? Is there old food in your kitchen or in your fridge? Keep your space clean and neat, and maybe have a system, again, whether it's on, I really like working with the lunar cycles, because it gives me a check-in point, a kind of a reminder that, oh, it's the full moon. Okay, what do I do on the full moons? Maybe I'm cleaning out my fridge because I'm releasing, I'm letting go. I'm cleaning certain areas of my home. I'm reminding myself, because everything needs to be kept up and maintained. And those types of systems allow us to keep up with that maintenance. Okay, so any questions here? I know I'm kind of going over a lot, but if you have any questions, put them in the chat box. Those are the main areas of your wealth and prosperity corners. So another auspicious sort of luck symbol in Feng Shui is to put out a bowl of oranges in your kitchen, because this is said to bring good luck and positive energy. Plus they smell good, they're citrusy, and they kind of bring that life force. Oranges remind me of the sun and sunny days and being out on the beach and just like biting into an orange, and it just like juices down my throat and my face, and it just feels sort of like a pleasuring fruit. So that's a fun little, very inexpensive luck tip that you can put into your kitchen. Okay, and lastly, before we get into the wealth face, which I'm going to be like super laser on that, I think, and mostly I'm just going to create the PDF to send you guys so you can do this on your own, because we're kind of getting to the top of the hour, and I want to make sure, we were only supposed to do this for an hour, but we started late. So I want to make sure you guys get everything that I wanted to share with you. So the last thing, especially during this time, it's Mercury retrograde. this is a perfect time to do this specifically, is fix everything in your home, fix things that are broken. When you don't have things that are fixed, it starts to affect your subconscious and it will really drain your energy. For example, if you have like I gave you examples earlier about the doorknobs not being, tightened, and that kind of symbols, if your doorknobs are loose, you can't get a grip on life. There's so many things that Feng Shui really, tell us about ourselves. There's a message in our home that is telling us what is inside, what is in our minds, our hearts, our spaces. So just make sure you have some time to fix things. And if you're not a really good fixer or handyman woman, then call up a friend, tell them to come over, you'll buy them some pizza, some wine, whatever, have fun with it. But just, fix your stuff, because I'm like, we live in a very old cabin space in Topanga, and we're currently calling in our new home, and we're potentially going to be migrating to Mexico. So I'm calling in because this space needs a lot of work. It needs a lot of love. There's always something that's broken. There's always something that needs to be fixed. And I was like, I'm super clear that I want to be in a space that is a little more modernized, because we're like busy people. We are active. We have a lot of projects. We have a lot of different businesses going on. And I don't always have the time to really tend to these spaces in the way that this home needs, right? Some spaces, it's like, okay, I can fix that here and there, but that just came through very clear for me. So your lifestyle also, really, when you think about where you're going to live, your lifestyle needs to align with how you're living and the way in which you are bringing forth all this energy into your space. That way, when you are thriving and you feel like your space is really supporting you, it's supporting your lifestyle, not just your surroundings and your inner space. So hopefully that's clear. Okay, we have a question from B. All of the things you suggest for the wealth corner, which two things would be the most important to buy first? Okay, 1000% a fountain. And I want to be specific about the fountain. The fountain needs to have metal at the bottom. So I know there's a couple on Amazon. I try to stay away from Amazon. There's some beautiful ones on Etsy. You can type in a search, small fountain with a metal bottom. The reason why you want a metal bottom is because metal in Feng Shui enhances water. So you want that enhancement. Those two elements, they play off each other. If it's just wood or it's plastic, you're going to get the effect, but it's not going to be an enhancing energy to it. So we want to be intentional with that. The second thing I would absolutely say to put is, maybe you guys can guess it, but I would absolutely put a money tree in your space. So money tree, which is plant, earth element, you can set, it's got soil in it. It allows you to sometimes I'll even put coins inside of my money tree. If I did a new moon ritual around specific financial investments or money that I'm calling in, I'll put that in the soil and like plant it. So I really think that having soil, water, and metal, those three elements inside of your money corner, are the two most important things to buy. So, and you can get them for, you could go lavish and get something really beautiful and spend a good amount on a fountain, or I know there's a couple for like 35, 40 bucks over on Amazon. So I hope that answered your question. Okay, so we're going to move into how to make a money vase. And I'm just going to go over the pointers here because, again, we are running out of time. So thank you guys for staying. If you have to go, I totally understand. I do just want to say, if you are going, I want to invite you to my Feng Shui Essentials course, which is launching October 21st, I believe. Let me just triple check because we moved the date. 21st. Yes. In 2 weeks, I'm starting the Feng Shui Essentials course. We're going to go over it's like a 4-week crash course on everything Feng Shui, so that you can literally Feng Shui your entire space. And that is available and open for early bird enrollment. You can actually go to the link here. I'm going to put in the comments, and then I'm going to go over to the wealth face, because if you can't stay, I'm going to send you guys the wealth face in an email. So I totally understand if you need to move on with your day. Let me put this in here. Where is it? Had it already. Okay, where are you? There we go. So yeah, I hope to see you guys in there. This course will teach you pretty much everything you need to create a space that you can thrive and bring a good vibe. I'm also, if you are a women business owner, I think most of us are women here. I am, or if you dream of having your own business, I created an ebook for Feng Shui for women in business owners and entrepreneurs so that you can really create a business, an office, a space in which your business can thrive, essentially. So I'm all about thriving. I use that word so much because it's very important. So just put the link in the comments. So if you guys want to check it out, the early bird rate is there. And also if you use the code manifest, you'll get 25% off. So, oops, that was supposed to go. Why is this just going to direct message? Hold on, everyone in meeting. There we go. For some reason, it was just going to one person. Okay, I'm also going to send you guys emails, reminders, and links. So if you got to go, I totally get it. Francis, thank you for being here. I love you so much. So good to see you. And congratulations on your new space. I know you're going to create a beautiful, beautiful space for your life. And I hope we should connect soon. All right, guys, I'm going to go into the money vase. I understand if you have to leave. Again, we will definitely be sending this to your inbox. Okay, the money vase is essentially like a vision board for your life, but it's for your finances. And it's a really fun exercise. The history behind a money vase was this sort of kind of ancient secret that the kings and the queens and the emperors and the empresses, they would always have this in their temples, specifically in their money corner. So that's why we found our money corner, southeast corner, far left of your home, for anyone who's just joining here. And we want to put this wealth vase, sorry guys, I'm kicking my desk. We want to put this wealth vase in this area. And when you think of a vase, you want to get really intentional with this vase. And it can look like, you know, I kind of love the ones that are a little more like antique. They have this beautiful sort of Roman or just like a vibe to it that has beautiful artwork. You can use a typical flower vase, but I really want you to find a new vase if you're going to be doing this exercise that's specific and it's new and it's solely going to be for this wealth vase. So once you find a vase that you love, you're actually going to put some ingredients in it that actually allows for your wealth to grow. And just some like foundational things. The wealth vase contains, like I said before, a lot of chi energy. So the energy is really infused within your ingredients to put inside this vase to basically reveal this beautiful like ritual that you can create within your money relationship. So Buddhist masters really had revealed this as a sacred tradition by using different feng shui principles. And there's a lot of hidden power in it. There's a lot of meaning behind it. And it is rooted definitely in mysticism and magic and creating. And hi, everyone who's just joining. I'm glad you found us. We're just wrapping up here, but I'm going over how you can build a wealth vase, and you'll definitely be sent the recording. So your ingredients, we use the elements, just like I spoke on before, the 5 elements to create this vase. And you're going to be filling this vase up to the top. First, you start with soil, which is how you bring in the foundation, what's going to grow on top of it. And so what's interesting about this is tradition bases where you get your soil off of. They say that you need to get soil off of a land of a wealthy person. Now, I kind of feel like in our world today, it would be a little weird if we knocked on a door of someone we thought is wealthy and said, hi, can I have some of your dirt? But, you know, if you're ballsy like that and you know, or you know a friend that you really see them as wealthy, you can ask them. But here's the more important thing that I want you to realize when you're picking this soil is the soil needs to be healthy, because we could think that next door neighbor, like I mentioned earlier, is wealthy by the way everything looks on the outside, but we have no idea, if we don't know them, if they're really wealthy, are they healthy in their life, are they happy? So when we take that soil from that energy from their land, we want to be very intentional if that's what you want to do, because you need to know that all that energy is going to be put into your vase. So I personally, when I created mine, is I went to my local farmer here in Malibu because they had healthy soil. So I just asked, hey, can I get a bag of soil? And they said, of course, yes, because I know that I eat the veggies there. It's healthy. It's loomy soil. If you know anything about soil, which you can learn a lot about that on my podcast, New Earth, if you guys haven't listened to it, there's a lot of permaculture experts and soil experts that come on there talking about soil and the health of it. So be intentional with your soil. Don't just go, and don't steal it. Do not take the soil without asking. Ask the person if you're taking it from somebody else's land, to be clear. If you're going to go out in nature and you are by yourself, land is not owned by anyone, then you ask the soil and you should be free to take it. But just be intentional with that, because that soil all of that soil and energy is going to be put into your wealth vase. Okay, the next ingredient is 5 different types of grains. This can be beans, like just any type of grain that you would like to bring into your vase, but it needs to be 5 different grains because this represents the 5 elements. And the last thing you're going to put into your vase is money or symbols of money. It could be the Chinese wealth coins. It could be coins if you have tons of coins. It can be actual $100 bills, however wealthy you want to call in. The other thing that is a tradition is to ask for money from someone who's wealthy. So again, you can get creative how you want to go about that. But I also, when I created mine, I really put my own energy and my own wealth into it because I have my own foundation and my own ethics of what wealth to me really looks like. So don't feel like you need to go take that from somebody else or ask, or maybe, it could be someone, maybe it's your parents, maybe it's someone you really admire. Maybe it's your best friend that's just like crushing it in life and she's wealthy or he's wealthy in all areas. And you're like, you want to explain to them what you're creating. Don't be afraid to get vulnerable and say, listen, I'm really, really, really wanting to create a wealth lifestyle, and I'm calling in more abundance and prosperity and health and relationships. And part of that is me creating a wealth vase because I watched this crazy girl, Nixie, on this masterclass and she told me to do it. So I'm going to do it. And I would like to borrow a couple dollars or have a couple dollars from you because it will help amplify that. Don't be afraid to do that. It would be a fun conversation and maybe you know of somebody. So once you put all that and you fill up everything from the soil first, the seeds of your grains, and then your money, you fill it to the top. And then you're going to have 5 different fabric pieces. All of these are going to be the colors of the elements, such as blue, green, yellow, and white. And you want to make sure that you have all those colors so that it basically holds the energy in your vase. And when you put that on top, you're going to put that on top of your vase. And then if you really want to seal it in, you can create a braid with ribbon and then put that braid around the fabric that overlays the vase. So again, I'm going to send you a PDF document of the guide of how to create a wealth vase because you guys are here. And that is it. That's how you create a wealth vase. It's a really fun exercise. And especially if you find a really beautiful vase, it can live in your home and it looks beautiful. And tradition also says that, to not put your wealth vase out to the public to see. But I really, really feel like you can be like in our world today, we don't need to hide things. There was a lot of the ancient way of sort of, hiding all these principles and modalities and teachings. And now we don't really need to be doing that. I think this should be out. So maybe it sparks a conversation with someone when it's inside your space and they go, what is that vase? It's so beautiful. Then you can tell them, I created a wealth vase. You should do it too. Because as I said before, the more wealth that we generate in our communities, the more change that I believe we can make both on the inner and the outer space. Whew. Okay, guys, we're going to wrap this up. I have another meeting coming up here in 15 minutes. So I just want to thank you so much for being here, you guys sitting through this and also navigating through some of the Mercury retrograde hiccups going on. I don't know why I was not able to go live over on YouTube, but we're going to figure this out potentially for next week, or we'll just keep it on Zoom. But you guys rock, and I can't wait to see, you know, what you create with your spaces. If you end up doing like a revamp of your money corner, or you make a wealth face, please share it with me, put it on Instagram or send me an email. I want to see what you're creating and how you're creating it. It's really, really beautiful to kind of see the transformation from everything that you're learning. And again, you guys, I put in the comment section, I am launching a Feng Shui Essentials course. This is a 4-week course that actually allows you, I'm actually just going to share the screen here because I am on Zoom, and that will let me do that. I don't know how to do that in YouTube yet. So this is our course here. I'm going to move this so you guys can actually see. So 4-week crash course on the basic principles of Feng Shui for a high vibe home. I'm all about the vibes in a space, and you're going to learn how to create your own high vibe home. You'll learn the Feng Shui essentials. So we touched on just one portion of Feng Shui today, and there's so much more. I could talk about this for years. And it's so much more than just moving furniture around. So you can learn how to work with the Bagua map, which is a really important way to create the foundation of what you're creating in your life, how to decorate using Feng Shui, how to use your home as a vision board for manifesting your dreams, your life, your ambitions, everything. The 8 Feng Shui wealth essentials. We went over some of those today, but we're going to go deeper into that inside the course. You'll also get a bonus Feng Shui for women business owners and entrepreneurs ebook, which I mentioned, and it is early bird enrollment right now. I put a code for everybody here. You will get 25% off using the code MANIFEST. So you'll get 25% off that price. We launch in 14 days, and there's just other stuff, you know, all the good stuff in here. Who is this for? If you're really ready to create a home that really supports you and allows you to thrive, this course is absolutely for you. Also, if you've just really been interested in Feng Shui, it's such a untouched, unspoken modality that is so beautiful that I'm really passionate about it. So if you're really curious about that, we're going to go through all of it. You'll walk away knowing how to Feng Shui your space. So week 1, we dive into the foundations of Feng Shui and how to declutter, how to bring in the yin and yang balance system. On week 2, we go over the 5 elements, how to basically work with the 5 elements, earth, water, metal, wood, and fire into your space. You'll also get your personal element report. Everybody is an element. So I am a soft wood element. So basically that means that I need to be surrounded by a certain element in order to feel like I'm being nourished. And also there's elements that can deplete me. So like metal is a depleting element for me. So you'll learn what elements actually allow you to thrive and be nourished. And the energy of your home, we're going to go into like everything from EMF exposure to negative to positive to chi, harmonizing your space, you name it. And then manifesting with Feng Shui, which this is going to be a very in-depth how to create your space on how to manifest. We also talked about this a little bit today, but again, they're going to be much more in-depth. So that is all that. The link is in the comments for you guys. Again, thank you for staying and watching all of that. And I hope to see you guys next week. I'm doing another masterclass. It will be on another Feng Shui related topic. So don't worry, you'll get notification in your email if you are interested. And I hope you guys all have an amazing day. Thank you so much for being here again. You guys are all incredible, and I will see you all soon. Have a beautiful rest of your day, evening, night, whenever you're tuning in here. All right, guys, I'll see you next week.